Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel Brains and Beauty. I'm a PhD student studying brains and also a beauty lover, and on my channel I like to focus on creative conscious consumerism. Today's video is going to be super fun. I am unboxing some single shadows that I purchased from Shinebysd. If you haven't seen my first video where I purchased for the first time from Shinebysd, I usually like to try out a couple of shadows to understand like the formula and if I like it. And so I'll put in the eye above the video that I've done previously for Shinebysd. But I've totally loved those shadows and I've been thinking of placing another order for a while. So today's video has like a mix of some of their different lines and different formulas, so I'm super excited to kind of try out all of those different types of eyeshadows. And it also has a couple of shadows from the new collection, the Earthborn collection, that was a collaboration with Seeking Shifts. So I'm over on Instagram as It's Brainy Beauty, and back when I started was also around the same time that Seeking Shifts started, and we're basically on the same wavelength when it comes to really like carefully analyzing the shifts in multichromes. And so a lot of her earlier posts were sort of doing very similar things to me in terms of like looking at color theory and looking how to layer iridescent eyeshadows to sort of see a similar effect as other multichromes. I actually created a file to document sort of all our findings, and so I will share that in the description box of this video so that you guys can take a look, and it links to like certain posts of hers and mine. So if you love that kind of content from me, you're going to absolutely love it from her. I will leave her Instagram down below, and she just started YouTube, which is so exciting, so I will also leave her YouTube channel in my description box as well. Definitely check her out. Like, she has totally blown up on Instagram in the last few years, and it is so well deserved because her posts, like, she does really great comparisons, and it's just like with a black background, so you can really focus on the colors and look at the different shifts and like shine and texture of all the different shadows. So she's a great resource if you're trying to figure out like the really minute difference between shadows. But yeah, so I just wanted to bring that up because I absolutely love Riley and she deserves that shout out, and I can't wait to try the eyeshadows that she made in her collaboration with Shinebysd. So without further ado, let's get into unboxing. Guys, there's candy! I didn't expect that. Now I'm searching for candy. Okay, this one is separate from the others. Okay, so these are the 8 shadows that I purchased. So we have 2 iridescents from the Earthborn collection. We have the 2 multichromes from the Fantasy 2.0 collection. I have an iridescent shadow, Moonlight. I have a shadow from the Primavera Crystal line. I've never tried this line, and so this one is Fairyland. And I also got 2 very unique looking duochromes. So we're going to start off with this quad, like swatching this area because I feel like they're more similar since they're iridescents, and you guys know I love iridescents. I want like every single unique iridescent because they're just so versatile and you can get totally different effects depending on what you layer them on top of, and it also lets me, you know, use more of the other colors in my collection because I'm still using them. I'm just kind of like topping them with these types of shades. So I'm really excited to dig into these. And then afterwards I will swatch these 4, and then we'll do the comparisons to any other shadows in my collection that might look similar. And then at the end, I'm going to have a section that's more about trying to mix multichromes and see if I can get something similar in that respect. But let's just get into the in-depth swatches and really pointing out every single shift up close. Okay, so these are the 4 iridescents. We have Ice Blink, Nacre, Moonlight, and Fairyland. Now, if I use a flashlight, you can sort of see that the most sparkly ones are these two and the Primavera Crystal. And then especially Ice Blink and Fairyland. This one, I feel like the sparkles in it are a bit more finer than this, but it's still quite sparkly. It's just finer because it doesn't have that like big blue sparkle to it. Okay, let's get into swatching these. So I have natural light and by window, and I also have a ring light on. I will turn on the light in my room as well so that we can see things in different lighting, but let's start off like this. So I'm gonna dig into Ice Blink first. I am so excited. Okay. So the inspiration for Ice Blink is it's supposed to be like a bright appearance of the sky caused by the reflection from a distant ice sheet. This is the same texture as the other Shinebysd shadows I have, so the way I described it in my other video. It's not like a juicy wet, it's kind of dry feeling, but I think that's what makes the sparkles really sort of shine through. This iridescent multichrome shifts from spicy orange, gold, green, teal, with blue, purple, gold, and silver sparkles. So that's the description on the website. Oh, I really love this one. Yeah, okay, so this one is quite unique because you can definitely see that kind of orange tint in there, but there's so much blue sparkle that it's sort of like a bit of an orangey base with blue sparkles running through it. Okay, this is with the ring light off. I definitely see that the blue goes to like silver. So you can see the blue, you can see the orange, like very like faint light orange. And then there's definitely silver. Like this looks very silver. Like this isn't just blue anymore. It's definitely has like this neutral silver quality to it. As for the gold, green, teal, I really don't see that as strongly. So, okay, this is with room light on so that you can see the beautiful sparkle. I will say this is a unique shadow, but I don't see the teal like and green aspects of it. The light in my room is like a yellow light, so you're seeing a bit more golden reflex from it. But yeah, I don't see like a green or teal at any of like a strong angle or anything like that. Like there are a couple of shadows in my collection, even like Luxie, so from Shinebysd, that I think of when I think of like a teal purple leaning eyeshadow. If you're thinking of that sort of thing, that's not what shows up here. I feel like this is a very beautiful, exactly as described in terms of like the spicy orange base and sparkle, but then with a lot of baby blue sparkle, a bit of a deeper blue sparkle, and a silver shift. So it's very unique, and those are its main colors, but I wouldn't rely on it for like a teal or green. Okay, so I went aside for a second and I took a look at this in different lighting, so I'll put a couple of videos on the side here for you to see. I really don't see any green shift to this, but I see in her pictures, like she has an eye swatch that she's done where there's like a lime green on the side. I just really don't see that in real life in my lighting right now. I think the prominent like shift that you're gonna get out of this is a beautiful like spicy orange, as she describes it, with these, oh my god, they're literally gorgeous blue sparkle, like baby blue and silver and a deep blue as well. So a lot of beautiful cool tone sparkle over that orangey base. It's beautiful. Like the combination is lovely, and I've been recently playing with Jingle Bells from Silent Night, and that one is like a warm color with like whitish silvery sparkles, and this just kind of knocked it out of the park as the most beautiful, like everyday, neutrally sparkly shade. If you love sparkle and you want a neutral shade that has like both warm and cool tones, this is the iridescent for you. But yeah, I will say I don't really see the other tones in here. When I brought it really up close towards the light, I did see like a purple at the very, very, very edge of it. But honestly, to the eyes, that's like more to the camera, because to the eyes, it doesn't really have much purple or green in it. I think what I'm showing you here is pretty much what I'm seeing in real life, like that gorgeous spicy orange with the blue and silver sparkles. So let's go on to the next shade, Nacre. So right off the bat, this one is much more smooth. Yeah, this one isn't as sparkly as the first one. This one is described as an iridescent multichrome that shifts from soft gold, teal, blue, lilac with teal, gold, green, and orange sparkles. Okay, so we can definitely see the beautiful gold. We can see this like almost minty green. I think this is what they mean by lilac. Okay, I'm going to turn off my room light. Okay, I definitely see the gold and the lilac. I think the gold is like the strongest shift here. And I feel like there's a silver in here too, but they don't mention that, but I do think this is a really pretty silver. I took a look at this one in different lighting as well. I put it on my eyes, and I really do think that the main shift in this one is like a gold, and you can definitely see that beautiful lilac purple like right there with the gold. And you can see green as well at some angles, and it's not really sparkly like this right now, but it is more sparkly if you have like a light or something. Like right now in natural light with a bit of the ring light coming in, this one's super sparkly, but this one is just sort of this like smooth metallic. Once you have artificial light like your room light or something, you're gonna see this one really sparkle. So once it sparkles, I see mainly orange sort of sparkles running through it. But yeah, the base shift is like a gold, lilac, a bit of green. I don't see a teal in it. I do see a beautiful silver, and even in the swatch that's on her eyes on the website, you see that like really pretty silver at the edges. So that is something else that's in here that you guys might like. But those are the two shades from the Earthborn collection that I picked up. And I'm really curious how this one now compares to Moonlight, because Moonlight is described as an iridescent shade and is mainly a vibrant gold with slight silver and white shifts. So let's take a look at Moonlight. Although Moonlight was not one of the ones that Riley made, she definitely influenced me into buying it. She had so many posts where this was like a vibrant, yeah, do you see that? Oh my goodness. You know what it reminds me of? It's kind of like the vibrancy of Phoenix from Terra Moons, where it's just like that shocking iridescent, but this one, instead of being orange, because Phoenix is very like orangey, this one is like a yellow. That's so cool. Okay, yeah, exactly how I just described it. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Yeah, okay, do you see how reflective Moonlight is? It's, as you can see, like, okay, compared to Nacre from the Earthborn collection, you can see that this one's a lot more of like a yellowy, almost like a coin, like gold, but like super, super yellow kind of gold. While now this one is almost looking green compared to it, even though this is a gold, but it's just like, that one is just so yellow. How cool is that? Oh my god, look at Moonlight. Look at all of these. Wow. You guys, I love iridescents. Like, look at these. Look at the shine on all of these. But especially Moonlight. Wow, that is amazing. Okay, yeah, so definitely see that vibrant gold. I almost see like that kind of, again, blue base that I feel like is in certain shadows like Phoenix from Terra Moons. But if you look at it from the side, like, it's not meant to be really a base. It's almost like a whitish blue base. I'm going to turn the ring light off. So I feel like there you can see the silver versus the gold. So you see the silver come in. So as you can see with the room light, this one is just like pure liquid metallic. There isn't much sparkle to it, but it has this like really vibrant, warm yellow gold, and it has a silver to it as well. So very unique in that aspect to my collection. And then in comparison, you can kind of see that this one is more of like a softer gold. I would say a bit more of a champagne gold with green in it. So those are the differences between those two shadows. All right, let's do the last one. I can already tell from the pan that this one is so sparkly. The reason why I wanted to get this one is because it's described as a multichrome foil with shifts of blue, purple, red, and orange, and I don't have any iridescent like that. Oh, that is so pretty. Okay, so you guys can see it over there. There is the blue, like really strong blue. You can see a bit of the purple there, but I'm going to conceal from the light a little bit. Oh my gosh, okay, I see the red. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, so I just need to show you the red now. Okay, you can see the like blue go to purple. This is like the warmer purple. And then you can see the red too. Do you see how it's like purple and then red? I'll show you another video clip here of it from like my angle, and you'll be able to see, I think, more of the red, because after the red, it's sort of like a peachy orange, and then that just blends right into my skin tone. So that's why it's not really visible, but look at those iridescent shadows. I love how like from here you can see how blue it is. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the jeweled multichrome spire from Clionadh, but as an iridescent shadow, because it goes from like this deep, cool blue, and then as you move it around, it goes to a warm purple, and then there's like the red and like peachy orange. So pretty. As for sparkle, I would say it has the same type of sparkle as this one. So it's sort of like, well, this one's flakier, but it is sort of like more finer sparkles. It's not as sparkly as Ice Blink. Like Ice Blink is the most sparkly out of all of these. I just adore Ice Blink right now. I'm like, oh my god, it's so sparkly. But yeah, these two are sparkly. So this one isn't like Moonlight. It's not a straight up metallic. It has the sparkle to it, but it's not super sparkly or super big sparkles like Ice Blink is. Okay, so these are the iridescents. I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands. To compare to Nacre, I'm swatching all of my gold iridescent multichromes, and I'm swatching them sort of on the side of my finger because I want to get some really thin swatches so that I can fit them all on my palm. And I like to swatch on my palm because I feel like it really reflects the curvature of the eyes, so you can see how the shift is the way it would be on your eyes. And just starting off with Moonlight here. And then I went ahead and grabbed some Clionadh shadows, Terra Moon shadows, and a touch of Glam shadow. So I swatched Gilding above Moonlight. Gilding has much more of a flaky texture compared to like the metallic in Moonlight, but it is looking a little chunky here because I think I've just like dipped into it too much with like primer. But basically I think of Gilding as like this super strong silver in my collection that flips to baby blue and green. And it also has a gold in it. Now the gold is different than Moonlight because it's more of this peachy kind of warm gold, compared to Moonlight, which is like the coin yellow gold. Above Gilding, I'm swatching Phoenix from Terra Moons, and Phoenix is the warmest of all of these. It's almost like a fiery orange here compared to the others. It does shift to a gold, but it's mainly this fiery orange, and as I suspected before, it has that same really intense shine compared to Moonlight, and they both have that sort of like coolish purpley blue base that allows those warm shades to really pop out. So swatching Nacre next, this one, you can really see how the most prominent color here is this really whitish silver, more so than even gilding. But once you shield it from the light, that's when you can see that it's more of this greeny gold compared to the coin gold in Moonlight and the peachy gold in gilding. So next is 15 from Touch of Glam. This one is a unique shadow because it has this really special platinum rose type of shift. But we can see that when Nacre is in that white silver, the 15th is a bluey aqua green. And then when you're in indirect light, that's when the platinum shows through in the 15th, but Nacre then turns into this greeny gold. So they sort of have opposite shifts in opposite lightings for direct and indirect light. Lastly is Lux from Clionadh. Now this one is very similar to the 15th. I did a whole video when I got the Touch of Glam haul, so I'll link it up above so you can see like in-depth comparisons. But the main difference is that when Lux is that gold, the 15th is more of that platinum. We can see here when Nacre is that silver, 15th is a bluey green, similar to Lux being a bluey green. I touched up some of the swatches a little bit thicker just so that you guys can get a good picture of these comparisons. So those are all 5 of the gold iridescent multichromes, and you can really see the difference in tones in the indirect light, and in direct light you can see how shifty Lux and 15th and gilding are compared to Nacre and Moonlight. I feel like Nacre and Moonlight flip between like 2 main shades. When I first saw Nacre, I immediately thought of actually Lux because the closest one I would say to Nacre in this list is Lux in terms of the greeny gold. It's just that Lux is more of a goldy green while Nacre is more of a greeny gold. Also, I do want to say I noticed in the footage that Moonlight seems to have a green at really intense angles in the indirect light, but I will say in person I did not notice a green, and if I looked really carefully, I did a swatch of Moonlight and then Nacre below, and the tint, like that soft green in Nacre, is actually present in Moonlight at extreme angles where it's like a very soft green. But it's really not noticeable at all in Moonlight, just in general, just looking at it. If you're not looking for it, you wouldn't really notice it. So here are all the comparison swatches with a flashlight, and I tried to make it a little bit out of focus so you can really see the sparkle comparison. And as you can see, there is a lot of sparkle in most of these shadows except for Moonlight and Phoenix, which are more metallic. I'd say the sparkle level is similar between the 15th and Nacre. And they also both have multicolored sparkles in them, so you can really see like a gold and a blue and a green sort of sparkle in it. And then I would say Lux is more, the sparkle is one color, it's more of a gold or green. So I hope these comparisons were helpful, and also that you get to see how special Nacre is because it's the most neutral out of all of these, but also has that touch of like a light greeny gold. Fairyland is very unique to my collection because it goes from a blue to a red in its description, so I don't have anything exactly like that, but I did want to swatch beside it Glow from Clionadh and Red Giant from Terra because those are a blue and a red iridescent shadow, and in case you have any of these in your collection, you can kind of see the tonal differences. So Glow is much more of a baby blue compared to Fairyland, which is more of that deep, almost indigo blue. And Glow does go to a purple, but Fairyland goes more to a very warmer purple. And as we know with Red Giant, it has that really strong red shift. This much red does not show up in Fairyland, but I swatched it over a Marc Jacobs black eyeliner as a dark base just so that we can really get these colors to pop as much as possible. And we can really see that deep indigo blue shines through, and also that warm purple. But those are basically the main 2 shades in the shadow. I would say it is a bit difficult to see it go warmer than that. Like the purple gets warmer and warmer, almost to the point where you're like, you can almost see the red, but it's hard to see the red. The way I'd say I'd see the red is if I have something kind of bouncing the light onto the shadow, or like the back of my hand here, you can see then the red does show through. So yes, there is a red in the shadow, but I don't want anyone to be disappointed. It is only at a very extreme angle and like certain way of light bouncing onto the shadow. I'd say most prominently you have that beautiful like deep blue with a warm, like a very warm purple that gets warmer and warmer, and then at the edges you almost feel like there's a hint of it turning red, but it's mainly a very warm purple at the edge right there. And this is just to show you the sparkles in my room lighting. And so you can see that Fairyland and Glow are both the same level of sparkliness, and they're more sparkly than Red Giant. So lastly, we have Ice Blink, and Ice Blink is super unique to my collection, so I don't have an exact dupe for this. But something that I thought of as soon as I saw Ice Blink was what could be kind of combined to make Ice Blink, because you guys know I love to do layering dupes. Now that's not usually the case with iridescents because they tend to be mainly like the pure pigment, but here Riley has made a very beautiful mixture, so I was curious about what could create this sort of spicy orange base with a blue on top. Now the blue iridescent in my collection is Glow, and so I swatched it below just so that you can see sort of the tonal comparison again. And as you notice, Glow is more of a vibrant blue to purple. And below that, I swatched Halo, which is the kind of spicy iridescent orange in my collection. It's a fiery orange to yellow and hints of green. I also swatched Luxie from Shinebysd above just because of the description of in the beginning where it sort of is described as like having green and blue and purple. It's not this sort of shadow, and I just wanted to demonstrate that. It does not have this vibrancy, and you can kind of see Ice Blink is the most neutral out of all of these colorful iridescents. And I think what also makes Ice Blink so unique and special is how incredibly big the sparkles are compared to any other shadow in my collection. You can see here that the sparkles are definitely bigger than in Glow, and because it's like this blue sparkle against a contrasted color in terms of that spicy orange, I feel like it makes the sparkles pop even more. So that is what makes Ice Blink so beautiful. But when you combine two colors that contrast, they tend to neutralize each other. And so that's why I was thinking that perhaps Glow Swash over Halo could neutralize the base a little bit and also provide that blue sparkle to become a sort of layered dupe to Ice Blink. So swatching Glow over Halo, you can see it does result in that neutral toned effect that's very similar to Ice Blink. But using the flashlight, we can see it is not as sparkly, so I can't call it a dupe because my favorite part of Ice Blink is that sparkle. But you can see in the base the combination does really resemble Ice Blink, and Riley commented on my post about this, adding that it took several additional iridescent pigments to create this amazing like twinkly effect. And her shadows will be restocked a couple more times, so if you're an iridescent lover, I do highly recommend grabbing Ice Blink and Nacre. If you like this video, please give it a like, and if you'd like to see more swatches like this, especially part 2 to the Shinebysd haul, then please do subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! Oh, wow. Okay, this is the hot pink of my dreams. Oh, that's amazing.